prominent racer, but at the 2 miles.
That is the key, isn't it?
Brother to Al-Azi.
There's nobody better than Joe Frannon from the front, and he proved that when he won on his horse. A good...
Coming clear from the front, that's it, they're ready. They're off, 9 of them breaking from the stalls at the 2 mile starting point for the Group 2 Weatherbys Lonsdale Cup. And early pace such as it is, coming from Align the Stars out wide, who's just seeking to work over Yellow Jacket for Joe Fanning. He's caught 4 abreast into the turn as Gregory holds his position against the rail and shays the advantage into the left-hander. Point Lonsdale, the purple and white socks are Ryan Moore, very close up in second, and then Align the Stars, who's still trapped fairly wide. Quick Thorn at this stage takes the trail. The hoop sleeves drops into about 4th position. Tash Khan with a striped cap is out deeper, and the nose-banded mare Night Sparkle between that pair. Then back to Vauban in a pink jacket, racing in advance of Al Saqib in the white silks, and the early back marker is Al Nayyir as they make their way towards the end of the first half mile, and Gregory will lead them across to the far side. To Point Lonsdale and Align the Stars Yellow Jacket wide. Quick Thorn up the running rail, followed by Night Sparkle. Vauban is held together between horses. Tash Khan is on his outer, and Al Saqib, the white jacket, on his inner, and Al Nayyir, the red cap, is just about last of a fairly well-grouped field in truth. And they're heading now towards the end of 3/4 of a mile. Gregory then setting the pace over the white-faced Point Lonsdale and Quick Thorn up the running rail, and they're going along at around about 35 miles an hour. They were just inside 13 seconds for the last furlong. The leading trio are being followed towards halfway by Align the Stars. Night Sparkle, the mare, up the running rail to Vauban, and then Al Saqib and Tash Khan, who's drifted back towards the rear end of the field and racing just in advance of Al Nayyir. So Gregory continuing to force the gallop here. They go through halfway, with Point Lonsdale sitting at the leaders' quarters and former winner Quick Thorn, the hoop sleeves, in the slipstream of the leading duo. Align the Stars racing in 4th, the nose-banded mare Night Sparkle against the running rail ahead of Vauban, the pink jacket, and then Al Saqib, Tash Khan, and still Al Nayyir races at the back of the field. Moving into the turn, heading now for the final 3/4 of a mile in the Weatherbys Hamilton Lonsdale Cup, and Gregory continues to set a fairly even tempo, 34-35 miles an hour, around 13 seconds for the last furlong. So James Doyle has been allowed to dictate here on Gregory. Ryan Moore now just asking for a little more effort from Point Lonsdale, seeking to sit on Gregory's tail as they turn their heads for home, buffeted by the crosswind. Quick Thorn ridden along in 3rd, then Align the Stars. Away to the left, Vauban making headway. Night Sparkle in the noseband is about 4 lengths off the lead. Tash Khan, though, is outpaced. Al Saqib is ridden along. Al Nayyir last of the main group, and Gregory is pouring it on here inside the 3. The white-faced Point Lonsdale now having his stamina tested as he draws alongside Gregory. On the right, Night Sparkle comes to make a line of 3. Vauban is only a length down on the left. Further back in the field, Al Nayyir is staying on. Now Vauban is moving through to Gregory, Point Lonsdale and Night Sparkle. Al Nayyir continues to run on, but it's Vauban in front, passing the furlong pole. Kicks over 2 lengths clear. Al Nayyir continues to stay on powerfully. Is eroding the deficit. Time is running out. Vauban. Al Nayyir is still closing. It's going to get very close between the pair. Vauban and Al Nayyir at a heads-up, heads-down finish to the Lonsdale Cup from Gregory and Night Sparkle. Further back, Point Lonsdale and Quick Thorn.
Oh, thriller for the Lonsdale. Vauban for Willie Mullins and William Buick at the line. Holds on from Al Nayyir. And Susanna and Rich Ritchie and Willie Mullins successful in this race with the subsequent Melbourne Cup runner-up Max Dynamite in 2015 have done it again, and no doubt it'll be Australia bound again. Vauban, after his disappointment in that race last year, he'll go there in some rare form because he has stayed 2 miles today. He's won. He's used a turn of foot at a race that was not run at an electric early pace, but James Doyle gradually wound it up on the leader Gregory. Judge confirms Vauban the winner. Al Nayyir has run a storming race for Tom Clover and Luke Morris. Just for a stride or two, you thought, well, if the gauge runs any closer to empty, Al Nayyir might get there, but he was always just doing enough. Gregory has just plodded on for 3rd, ahead of Night Sparkle, who threatened. 5th was Point Lonsdale. Distress signals sent out a little too far out to suggest stamina was definitely the problem, you fancy, Martin, but Mullins has another edition of the Lonsdale.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good win from a good horse. I'm not convinced he did stay. I think he fell over the line. I think they walked round. He used his turn of foot to get himself in front. He got 3 lengths on the field, and he nearly got caught by Nayyir. It was a great performance, but I'm still not convinced he stays 2 mile. I know it sounds stupid.
He stays when it's run like that, doesn't he? But I get what you're saying, Martin. He stayed well enough to win as this race went, and he picked up decisively. Point Lonsdale was the disappointment of the race. He was well enough positioned. He was sort of readily enough left behind, I thought, initially by Gregory when James Doyle started to wind it up, which surprised me. And then he got himself upsides but flattened out, and he was the disappointment of the race. As I say, massive run from the runner-up from the back of the field on his first start for Tom Clover.
I think I'd take a more positive view of the winner in terms of his versatility, insofar as he's gone to Ascot, he's glided round there. 2.5 miles, yes, is too far. He's gone to the Curragh. I thought he was a little bit disappointing, to be honest, a bit listless in his finishing effort. He looked more relaxed, I thought, in the preliminaries today, and I think that's the key.
Yeah, he's given himself a chance to stay today, hasn't he? If he'd have been over racing or worked up in any sort of way, then those tiny margins probably would have got him caught today, and then you would have been saying, well, lack of stamina got him beat. He's seen it out well enough. It's a borderline one. I'd say he gets the trip, but he's not a strong stayer at it, would be my my post-race sort of view on him.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment. We said in running, didn't we? It's the first time Vauban has actually settled so much better in what was a steadily run race. He normally can get lit up and can be quite keen. He's settled well on a slow pace, and we'll watch in a minute. William Buick has used his turn of foot. He's quickened really well to get to the front and get a few lengths, and then he was just getting tired.
He'd have kicked himself had he been beaten. But to be honest, he was going so well, I suppose, Martin, you have to commit.
You can't sit too long, can you? He got inside the 2-pole, and look at the turn of foot he showed. He's quickened away, and he's got a bit of distance on the rest of them. And Nayyir, what a performance to run on from the back.
Bit of the race IQ data just filtering in, Lucky, and that second last furlong, Vauban shows his pace and his class against his rivals, nudging the 14-mile-an-hour mark when he quickened into that that penultimate furlong of the race. So his pace for a stayer has definitely carried him to the front and towards the line.
Well, the question is, will he win a Melbourne Cup? A slow Melbourne Cup?
Well, again,
possibly.
It's contingent on what sort of Melbourne Cup you get, and whether it's a race where you can use your turn of foot, and indeed what sort of ground you get as well. Because clearly, if it got deep or a lot of rain, that's going to negate his chance of staying.
I think the key thing is he's very good, and like Chris says, he just about gets 2 miles when things are run to suit. But I think the big positive is he's settling so much better now. That's, as a jockey, there's nothing worse than going 2 miles and the horse is too keen. You just don't finish. But I think it was a really good turn of foot to get him win. But that was in the second last furlong, and then he was getting a bit tired. But you can't detract. It was a good win. Point Lonsdale was very disappointing, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was the. But I think they're allowed a disappointment now and again.